Hello and welcome again. Daniel G. Gennis from London, where it is still cold, but it is, well, let's put it this way, very cold mornings and kind of mild evenings, well, mild afternoon and a very wet afternoon. It's kind of warmish now, but there's a brisk breeze blowing through the capital. So yeah, here I am again. Before we get into what I've been up to, my apologies to my viewers on Tumblr. I didn't actually post my entries. I just discovered last night that I need to press a post button. So when I click on the Tumblr icon to, excuse me one moment, when I press the Tumblr icon, the entry comes up and starts to play, but I needed to press a button in the bottom right hand corner called post, would you believe? So all my entries that I've done didn't appear on Twitter. Thankfully, I burnt the midnight oil last night and ensured that all my entries are now on Tumblr. So any of those of you who've tried to access my video entries on Tumblr, I do apologize, but they're all up there now, and this one will be appearing later. So with that out of the way, well, what can I tell you? Well, I've been running around the neighborhood trying to find out where my delivery of a microphone kit, which is a microphone, cables and a stand, which I got via Amazon. Oh God, I got to think about that now. Yeah, so I went to at least three addresses. One of them being a daycare centre that's on the estate where I live. Nobody had it there simply because the address was on the carrier's tracker. So I ended up going back to the concierge office where I picked up a microphone muffler. I think that's what they're called anyway. And lo and behold, my microphone kit was there. It's just that it was not entered onto their register of delivery. So being very harassed and annoyed, I'm now in a better place because I've actually got what I've paid for. So, yes, my previous 24 hours, well, I didn't go to the gym because I didn't get much sleep the previous night. Sad to say that it's a similar case in that I was doing my video entries and putting stuff on Tumblr, so I burnt the midnight oil, watched a bit of TV, hit the sack at 3 a.m. and got up at 7 and went through the motions and, excuse me, and went to work without any breakfast, although they have a cafeteria there, so I had breakfast at the office before I began work, which is quite handy. After next month, that won't be happening. But yeah, I've been like a robot all day, going through the motions, feeling extremely weary, but actually somehow managing to do the job that I'm paid to do. So, having done all that, I was going to leave at 4:30. So yeah, that's it. I was supposed to have a meeting with someone to pick up a wireless microphone, and the price was on Facebook Marketing, so it was agreed. I contacted the person via Messenger. They work in Piccadilly. Well, they live in Peckham. Well, I can't really get down to Peckham. I've got other things to do during the week. It would have been a weekend, but the person apparently works in Piccadilly, which is no great distance from Westminster, where I'm working. It's just that it's a bit awkward to get to. He said I'm finishing at work about 4:35 o'clock. They finish at 6, and I suggested a meeting at lunchtime. Apparently, they don't take a lunch break, which I find strange for somebody who's finishing at 6 o'clock. By law, you're supposed to take a break. So I have no idea what their job was, but I said, well, I will finish work between 4:30 and 5 and come to your place of work, which is some theatre opposite the Eros statue. If you know Piccadilly Circus, those of you who visited London or even live in London, you'll know Eros, the statue that takes centre place in Piccadilly, and this person works in a theatre opposite, he told me. I don't know, it might be the Criterion Theatre, I don't know. because there's plenty of theatres opposite Eros anyway. So today I didn't hear anything from him or her. Well, I'm sure it's him. It's a he. I emailed them via Messenger and said, "Is this deal still on?" or words to that effect. All polite, I might add. I didn't hear anything, so later in the afternoon, I just said, "Well, look, it doesn't seem as if you want it, so I'll just leave it." Well, he had taken off the microphone off Facebook Market, so I'm not sure what his problem was. I had the money and I was going to buy it, but you know what? Sometimes it's better to stick with what you know, which is Amazon. I mean, this microphone he was selling it for £15, £15 sterling, or GBP if you're overseas, British Great Britain pounds. Well, it's our currency. On Amazon, it's about £29, just say 30 quid. So it probably would have been less of a hassle just to pay twice, pay the market rate, and not have to bother with somebody who puts something up for sale and doesn't intend to sell it. Not sure what his problem was. He didn't put it down as being sold, he just took it off the market. So his loss means that I've got an extra £15 in my pocket, which will go towards my guitar lessons this Sunday. So, he can go forth and multiply. So his loss, not mine. Okay, well, after that, this took place before my running around the neighbourhood trying to find my microphone set. So that all done, I'm in much better mood. Well, I'm not in a foul mood. Don't think I'm in a foul mood since I've been doing these entries, and I'm not about to start now. But it's all done and dusted. Tomorrow will be an early start for me. I need to get into work because I have an appointment in the afternoon, so it'll be a half day, but I'm going to try and get in early and do as much work as I can, because I'll be leaving about 1:30, so it'll be a short working day. No 4:30, 5 o'clock finish, although this evening I actually finished at 5:30. Well, I wasn't going to meet anybody. I wasn't going to meet that person to get the microphone because they weren't interested in selling it in the first place, clearly. So I just kind of tied up a few loose ends and then kind of made my way home and stopped off at concierge office and picked up my microphone muffler, not knowing that my mic stand was there until much later. So yeah, that's done, dusted. Should I mention guitars? No. I mean, I still look at the marketplace, and there's some really good axes there, but my funds are not what they were, and I'm not totally broke, but my funds are depleted, although I did put in a bid for a flute. Now, why would Gennis put in a bid for a flute when he's trying to learn the guitar? Well, I'll give you two words, well, rather a name, Jethro Tull. Now, I'm not talking about the 18th century English agriculturist who created the seed drill and wrote books on agriculture. I'm talking about the rock band fronted by Ian Anderson, of the famous flute. Yep, I am a big Jethro Tull fan, and I always enjoyed watching Ian Anderson play the flute. I remember it must have been about 1968. It could be 1970 with the record The Witch's Promise that they had out at the time, 69, 70. Anyway, it was either 68, 69, 1970. Remember watching this show we used to have here called Top of the Pops. It's still going, so technically it's the world's longest running music show, starting in 1964. They did away with the weekly show several years ago, but it has the odd program. They still do the odd show, which is like a compilation show. So 67, 68. I was born 63, so that'll be about between 5 to 6 years old. I remember watching an edition of Top of the Pops with my parents, and this man came on, with a flute. He looked totally mad. His hair was all over the place. He had a long, straggly beard, looked totally mad, and he stood on one leg and played the flute, and I've been in love with the flute ever since. Why haven't I done it before now? Why haven't I tried? Well, sometimes the opportunity doesn't present itself, or it's not my time to do it. It's not the first time I've seen a flute, but this one was at a good price that I could afford, so I put my interest in. But then again, I've done that with a sax, and the person didn't come back to me. I think the same with the violin. I did put in a bid for a violin, and I'm not sure what it is with people selling classical instruments. Maybe they think because maybe I don't know what it is. I'm going to put my neck on the line now and say something a little bit controversial. I do believe that there are certain people from a classical music background who don't believe that black people are capable of playing classical instruments. I can't think of any reason why those people didn't respond to my interest, because those items were still on the Facebook marketing thing, and the only reason I can think of it is that they just don't believe a black person can even attempt to play a classical musical instrument, whether it's a violin, a flute, a clarinet. It's something, but it's something I don't think they actually realise it. But then again, I don't know many artists outside the jazz arena who actually play, the clarinet. I mean, it's part and parcel of jazz. But sometimes these people who are selling these classical instruments, they've never seen a black person. Well, I don't think there's a famous black person I can think of who actually plays the violin, who's famous for doing it. I mean, sax is a different matter. If you've got Sonny Rollins and such legends of that. Let's see, in jazz, in terms of wind instruments, I mean, Charlie Parker, Bird, trumpets, Miles Davis. They're not really in the realm of classical music. I'm just kind of going through jazz, using jazz as an example where black people play a whole range of instruments and capable of doing so. I'm sure it probably happens in classical music. I do admit of being ignorant about this, but I don't see many black people playing the violin or the flute or the clarinet. But it doesn't mean to say that they don't. I'm sure somewhere people do that, do play those instruments, but it's just the mentality of people. I mean, I'm being controversial here by saying that, but it must be, because if you're selling something, somebody comes in and says, I'm interested, they're not trying to knock down the price and anything, you can't be bothered to respond, then there must be a reason. The only reason I can think of it, they look at my profile and they think, oh, black guy, what does he want to play a violin for? What does he want to buy my violin? No. I could be totally wrong here. But I'm in my mid-50s now. I'm British born. I've lived in this country all my life, and I'm not going to kind of put down all people of paler skin because I know better. But there are some that just kind of make my blood boil by their total ignorance of certain things. That's why we're kind of we're how can I put this? We've ended up with the Brexit situation because of such ignorance. And now, I'm being controversial here, because these things and racial prejudice really get on my nerves. Some people in years gone past, people of paler complexion have said to me, you're always going on about racism. And my answer is quite simple. I go on about it because I'm tired of going on about it. I'm tired of dealing with it. We are now in the 21st century, and there's that paradoxical saying that comes up, the more things change, the more they stay the same, and we're moving forward. I mean, Britain as a country's come a long way, but there are still a lot of nonsense that we're dealing with. Again, the Windrush scandal comes into this, which I said in an earlier piece that I would write about it, an earlier video entry. I said I'd write a piece. I have started it, and I will do it. But it's just kind of, I find it unbelievable that this country is leaving the European Union, and they want to engage with the rest of the world. The Commonwealth head of states meeting, the head of states of Commonwealth They had the meeting at the same time the whole Windrush thing broke, and that story is not new. It was being handled at a local level. It's just that when the national media got hold of it, then it became a massive scandal. It's always been there. It's always been a scandal. We're trying to, with the powers that be, don't have a clue. They're trying to engage the rest of the world, but at the same time, people who are British citizens, who are here and pay taxes and stuff like that, just because they don't have a British passport and they can't prove that they came here legally on their parents' passport, they're trying to throw them out of the country. That's a really great advertising advertisement for Britain. Now, if I am the CEO, say of a multinational company in Hong Kong, based in Hong Kong, for example, or I'm a black billionaire who has business interests around the world, and I'm and I want to buy British goods. I want to buy goods in the country where my business is based. If I saw the Windrush scandal and read that and what had happened, would I want to trade with Britain? Hell no. Hell no. And, it wouldn't surprise me if this Brexit's a total disaster because, we're living in a world now. I don't know about the rest of the world, America probably as well. We're living in a kind of Planet of the Apes scenario where, the monkeys are taking over everything. You couldn't make it up. Our government, we got a clown in the White House, and we've got a bunch of monkeys, running the British government and going on about Brexit. That they want it. Those who wanted to get out of the EU, they got it now, and they don't have a bloody clue what to do. It's like the foxes, not the foxes, the greyhounds. The dog's chasing the fox, and they're always chasing the fox, and they can't catch a fox. And when they finally do catch up with a fox, they haven't a bloody clue what to do, apart from tear it to pieces. And that's probably what's happened with our great nation. It's been torn to pieces by monkeys. So-called politicians who haven't got a bloody clue as to what they're going to do next. Why leave an organisation if you don't have an exit strategy? Got 2 years to reach an agreement with the EU, and we've got less than a year, and it's still the monkeys in the tea house messing about. I don't know. I'm British, and I'm proud to be British, and I'm also proud of my Jamaican heritage. I have a foot in two worlds, and I've always seen that as a strength, not a weakness. But I don't know. A friend of mine was just up the road. He voted. Black guy, nice guy, Roy. He voted to leave the EU, and he said we talk about on an intellectual level, and he said, well, he sees it as an opportunity. And yes, it would be an opportunity if the whole referendum thing was done properly from the start. Really, it wasn't done properly from the start, and it's been a hassle ever since. 52% of the people voted to leave the EU, but 48% voted to remain. That's not an out-and-out victory. If it was like 60-40 or even better, 70-30, that would have been much more of a convincing win. But then again, there was very little debate. The actual debates happened after the referendum vote. So there you go. It was messed up from the start, and it still had an effect. It split a nation. That's for certain. A hell of a lot of people don't want to leave the EU. London is very EU-centric, as is Scotland and Northern Ireland. Then you've got the border with the Republic of Ireland, which, as we're in the EU now, there isn't a hard border there, and that didn't come up at all in the EU. Lots of things didn't come up in the EU. There are valid reasons. I will be the devil's advocate, and say that there are valid reasons to leave the EU. Excuse me while I just have a bit of water here. Right, excuse me, thank you. Just been talking for a while, got a very dry throat. Yeah, there are valid reasons to leave, but the intelligent reasons weren't being discussed. They were being discussed on YouTube, but not in the national media. And I'm not sure why, but thank God for social media. We don't have to rely on Rupert Murdoch's media, his newspapers, his TV stations, or any other kind of interest. We've got social media, so we can look for the truth and find the truth wherever it may be. So that's a good thing. So moving forward, I think I will relax a bit, look at my microphone kit, and calm one's nerves. So I will bid you goodbye for now and implore you to look after yourself and to take care of each other, and be nice to people. It costs nothing to be nice. Until tomorrow, maybe, well, the next entry, you take care. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.